Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to turn jello, gelatin, corn syrup, and water into a delicious gummy jello that you can share with your friends. The jello I'm using is the 6 ounces, but you could also use the 3 ounces, but you gotta lessen the recipe. The jello and gelatin can be found in the sugar aisle of your local Walmart. The corn syrup's at the syrup aisle. And water, you should have water because it's at every half. For this recipe, if you use a 6 ounce, you only need 4 packets of gelatin, which is normally 4 in the gelatin box. Today I'm using a 3 ounce jello recipe. As you can see on screen, that's the recipes, and 6 ounce will just give you more jello for gummies. So you need to get 1/4 cup of really cold water because you don't want it to get hot. And you need to measure 1/4 cup of corn syrup. You could put it in the cup or you could use a different measuring tool. My mom didn't want me to do that because she thought corn syrup and water didn't look different, so I would get mixed up. But of course, corn syrup looks like current corn syrup, and my mom just doesn't know. Go ahead and pour the corn syrup inside the container or cup. If you're using the 6 ounce recipe, the cup won't fit it. So you might as well pour it into the pot, which you will see later in the video. Make sure to stir the cup or pot full of corn syrup until it dissolves into a crystal clear water or liquid. Don't try to drink the liquid because corn syrup, just don't do it because I don't know how it tastes, but I don't think you should do it. And scrape off the corn syrup. Since corn syrup is kind of sticky like glue, you might as well scrape it off to get all of it into the cup. You might as well, just pour it in the cup at first. Stir it until it looks like water again. It might take a while, but yeah, you need to stir it really good and then pour it into a pot. The gelatin I'm using is from Walmart, and it's from Knox, and it has 4 packets inside, which is enough for a 6 ounce recipe and enough for 3. Now that you're done with all the pouring, now you could pour in, not done with pouring, pour in the packets of gelatin and pour in the jello. The jello, it comes in a brown bag like this. You just tear off the top right here and then pour it in. It might smell good, but after you add the gelatin, it will smell not so good. So if you want to whiff that good flavor smell, you might as well pour it in first. Look at that rainbow of powder. So nice. Oh my god. It's an island of powdery sugar. And fun fact is that real gummies are made from sugar, gelatin, corn syrup, and water. So this is exactly the same thing, but you're using jello. And jello is actually sugar, so yeah. So you're actually making real jello, gummies that aren't made actually. So yes, I'm pouring in the 2 gelatin packs, and the gelatin smells bad because for some reason it smells bad. It's unflavored and it smells bad. So now it's time to stir everything together and stir it until it all dissolves into a red liquid or whatever color it is. As you can see here, there might be a little bubbles, but that's okay. We'll take care of that later. Don't stir too much though, if not you'll make too much bubbles and that will be a problem for the rest of the recipe. So try to stir it softly, and if it doesn't look like red liquid or it just looks there's some clumps, you still have to stir it until there's nothing in the water or the sugary liquid. or should we call it red nectar? Nectar. Yeah. And also save the spoon or whatever you're stirring it with, so you can use it on for later. Warning: if you make the sugar liquid, you might make your pan a little sticky, but it won't stay forever if you clean it. So now it's time to put it on a stove and set it to medium-low heat. And you don't actually need to heat it up, but it's better to heat it up so you can pour in the molds. I think pour in the molds and make it more easier, and makes all the germs die and makes it dissolve more faster. So if you want to heat it up, you could heat it up, but if you don't want to heat it up, you might as well look in another tutorial on YouTube, since some of them don't actually need to heat it up. But this is where we want to heat it up, since we want to kill all the germs. We want to make it stop more. As you can see earlier, there's a little the texture was a little bumpy, so now it'll make it really smooth. So for those kids out there, don't use a spoon or any metal thing to stir, because metal conducts heat, so your hand might burn. Just ask your mom for a wooden tool or something like I'm holding. Stir while it's cooking, and you might see some bubbles, which is okay. We'll take care of that later. Now, you don't really have to make your gummies Lego. You can buy other molds on eBay or Amazon. You might want to wash the molds before you use them. So I'm using Lego molds, and you could use any of them. Make sure it's rubber though, or any other non-burning materials, because you need something not burning. A small, tall, heat-resistant cup, and you want to bring it over to your gummies. Now pour the liquid after you stirred it and heat it up for about 5 or 7 minutes, and then pour it inside the cup. And you might be asking, why can't we just pour it into the molds? Well, now it's our chance to get rid of the bubbles. If you want bubbles, then I guess you could have bubbles, but we don't want bubbles. So pour it into a heat-resistant long container, or it could be small, but tall is better. Make sure not to touch it like my sister did right now. The mixture is really hot, and she's if you heated it up too hot, it would actually burn your hands. But since she's actually not actually holding it whole, it's not that effective. But don't put your palms on it, because then it'll be really hot. Also, make sure you stir it, or else sometimes the mixture will burn a little bit, since it's fire. And you should also mix it to get anything else that's not dissolved, because heat makes things dissolve. And now, as you can see, the bubbles are rising to the top, and then you can do something later. Wait about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you should have this bubbly thing. It might not look like anything, but you can scrape it off with a spoon if you wait like about 15 minutes. And now that I'm waiting for it to, get hardened, I will do my homework. And when you're done scraping, it should look like this. You should ask your mom to do something like this, or let it sit longer to make it easier. Now it's time for the mold. When you're pouring the liquid into the mold, you might find it tricky to pour it in. It might spill everywhere. But I found an easy way to fix that. Just get any container and then fill it halfway, whatever size it is. If it's really small, then you could actually fill it whole. If you fill it halfway, it's kind of easier than filling it whole, since it's harder to pour. And then after you're done pouring it all, you can put it in the freezer or the fridge and let it cool. When it's done, it should look like this. And then if you have a rubber mold, then you can just push the bottom of their heads and just peel them out. Don't worry about breaking them. The Lego men are easy because they're one whole thing. But if you have Lego bricks, the studs might not come out. So you gotta push the studs individually, and then it's kind of harder. Yeah. So as you can see, the thing is really messy. You can see a lot of red things. And then now you have a batch of gummies. They're edible, and yeah. And also, as you can see, a lesson learned: peel, let the big one stay in the freezer longer because it's bigger and it doesn't cool that fast. I also built a Lego dispenser to dispense Lego, guys, and share with my friends. And also, you could use the molds for ice cubes. So now you know how to turn these molds into, well, actually not turn them, but you could use these molds and other ingredients to make your batch of gummies. And remember that you could use it to make any shape. And one time I accidentally left some of the mixture in a cup, and then it became a solid cylinder. So yeah, you can also remelt the gummies if you want to make it a different shape. And again, one more thing to ask for you. If you like this video, please subscribe or check out my channel at least, or like the video. If this helped you in any way, do what I just told you to. And also, thank you guys for staying with me when I didn't make videos for 3 weeks. Well, thank you all, and this is the video. Goodbye!